light. Light's what's important for us all as we continue our spiritual journey and soulful journey, developing our souls. Light's a very important force. We have the light coming from the sun, light coming from the stars, the cosmos. All of them are affecting us. And I've said this before, I've normally found people that don't like the sun or like to shut themselves away from the sun or are a bit dark. But part of this spiritual, soulful work is to develop our souls, as I've said. And to do that, we want to become light beings. We want to use the light. We want to be part of the light. We want to become light. And in many teachings, they talk about developing your light body. And there's Gurdjieff exercises and Steiner exercises about that, of filling yourself with light, creating that light body. Because that's what we need when we move on from this world. But also we can use it in this world, on this plane, as we live on this earth, being part of the light. And you've probably seen lots of pictures of saints, Christ, other holy beings, holy people with the halo around their head, because they've managed to illuminate themselves so much that they shine forth from their head, well, from their whole bodies, really. Many people talk about the beings with the light bodies, or the shining ones, the ones that come forth shining, because they've developed their bodies to such a point that they're living in the light. But also with the halo, as many of you know about the pineal gland that's connected, I believe, to the third eye. When you're developing that, the pineal gland starts to glow, your third eye starts to glow, your head starts to glow, and thus comes the halo from round your head. So let's give our halos a little rub, a little shine, a little polish. But that's what we're working on, to become these illuminated beings. And you've probably met many holy people or gurus or people that really are doing their soul work. And you can see the difference in them. You can feel their lightness, their light coming forward and shining forth from them. And that's what we're trying to develop in ourselves, the light. It's the darkness that weighs us down. It's the darkness that stops us continuing on our soul journey. That darkness is what, like I say, weighs us down. It's a heaviness, isn't it? When you've got your darkness around you, when you're feeling down and, down and out of the light. You're out of the light. So one of the visualizations I do, and I'm sure you've heard of these as well, or work on them yourselves maybe, is to visualize myself bathed in light, visualize myself filling myself with light. I often try and use golden light, because gold is indestructible, doesn't rust, and the darkness just slides off gold. We're working on these bodies to become more developed in ourselves, but we're also working on our inner bodies and our other bodies. We haven't just got this physical body that we're working upon. And so with this light that we're developing in ourselves, and we can go forth, with the light comes harmony, connection with the universe. And when we're connected to the universe, things seem to be more, I want to say the word simple just sprung into my head. And I suppose it is a simple life when you're more in tune with what's going on, but you're also doing things then. And as we've been saying in many of the shows, and with many people have been discussing it, doing is the important part. We can all sit back and think about it. Thinking's good, pondering, making it happen, but it's the doing. And making yourself do these meditations or exercises or working on yourself. It's all very important stuff to develop that light within you, the light that's going to shine forth from you. But I do find sometimes that when you are full of the light, it does attract some strange people sometimes. It also attracts dark forces, because they want to extinguish the light, they want to put you down. But those are the testing times that you have to go through. You must make sure that your light's not being put out. You must make sure your light's not being extinguished. Don't let the dark forces put your light down. Don't let the dark forces put your light out. Keep shining brightly. You know, you've heard of all these metaphors, and when you read all these esoteric books or the Bible or other holy religious books, one of the animals is moving about on a plastic, you know, and dealing with these holy books and start reading the inner parables inside them, you can see it's all about light development and being the light and going forth in the light. But to really be an illuminated, shining body, at the same time, you know, we've got to get rid of all the sins within us. We've got to cleanse ourselves. But this light can cleanse us and help us to understand why we're like this, why we have our negative thoughts. I've said in other shows all about, you know, we need to ponder on ourselves of why do I feel this way? Why do I feel down? Or why do I get angry? Why do people annoy me? I don't know. You know, you've all got your own little perks that are, is it perks? That's the wrong word. You know, our trials and tribulations are when we're falling into our sinful states, our darkened states. We want to stay in the light, which is more of a, you know, obviously happy, but a loving, being connected. But we have to look at why we're like we are, why our personality makes us like we are, and hopefully change ourselves so that we become better people, be the Jedi warrior that you want to be, the spiritual warrior you want to be. Understand why you react to certain things, what presses your buttons. You know, it's the same old as I've said in other shows. You can look back through other shows to see all the techniques I've been describing or the ideas you can use yourself to work on yourselves. But this show is supposed to be about light. You know, take in the sun. I often do a bit of sun gazing. Obviously at sensible times as well. Don't go and just stare at the sun and blind yourself. You know, I find early morning sunlight's great to look at, soaking it into my eyes, kind of breathing it in. And at dusk, I love going and watching sunset, which is another time of being able to take in the light for ourselves and fill ourselves with this golden sunlight. The animals want attention. That's because they're like nice light bodies themselves. So, since they're all fidgeting around, I'm going to go and deal with them. Be the light being you want to be. Stay illuminated. You know, and you'll probably start noticing words that are to do with the light start springing out at you. You know, illuminating at you, like light pouring at you. And it's quite fascinating, the old word etymology to do with light, sunshine, and just reading all the Gnostic texts that we're given, all discuss about the light. Be the light you want to be. You know, the lights, well, it's, you know, like the Star Wars. I'm sure many of you have watched the Star Wars films. The Force is neutral. It's how you use it. Depends on whether you're a good Jedi or a bad Sith. You know, it's quite fascinating that they use lightsabers in the battles. Or, you know, a good Jedi never draws his sword. I think that's an old samurai saying as well. You know, a perfect samurai is one who has never had to draw his sword because he's been able to negotiate his way out of things, or negotiate so that you know, there's a better result. The happier, better result comes forth rather than having to go into battle and drawing blood and bloodshed. You know, we don't want blood. We want love. So, these animals need my attention. Adios. Peace, light, and love to you all.